Welcome CSC 102 and CSC 103 class. Just going to do a very quick video reviewing editing your photo to put in your discussion post. What you're going to first do is you're eventually going to come to My Warren, but first you're going to go to a place called Pixlr.com, Pixlr. And when you go here, you should see something like this. You may get a message about allowing Flash plugin. I'm seeing my plugins blocked here, so I'm even going to go in here and say run Flash this time, because I'll need that to actually run this web app. And you could open Pixlr Editor, or you could even scroll down to find it, and you may get a message even here about running Flash, but this will be kind of the preview screen. You may see ads since it's a free application. And we're going to be opening images from URL. If you have an online class, you're going to be opening images from your computer. You're going to be using your computer, but in a class that we're using at school, we're actually going to open from a URL because it's just going to be easier. So to do that, I'm actually going to open another tab, and I'm just putting images in a website, and it's homastudio.com, and that's just a place where I was able to upload images, and it's not actually in this site. You actually go in a folder, so you're going to, after .com, you're going to put a /, and whatever class you're in, let's say you're in CSC 102, and I didn't put sections, so it's just CSC 102, and it has to be just like this, no capital letters, and then that just means it's a folder for CSC 102, and then you're going to put another /, and you're just going to put your last name, first initial, .jpeg. So for example, if I'm Steve Smith, I'm going to put Smith s.jpeg, and you're not doing JPEG, you're doing just JPG. You're doing it like that, and it's going to be all lowercase. So when you do that, you should see a picture of yourself, and there's a picture of Steve Smith. And we're going to crop this and make it smaller. Now what you could do here is we're going to basically take this photo from the web. So I'm going to right-click on it and say copy image address. Not copy image, but copy image address. I'm going to copy the image address, and I'm going to go here to Pixlr, and I'm going to open image from URL. Now when you do this, that HTTP : / is actually highlighted. It's hard to see, so sometimes people put their cursor here and paste again, and you get double HTTPs. But if it is highlighted, which it is, it's hard to see, just do a Control-V on Windows or Command-V on Mac and paste right over it. If you're not sure, put your cursor in here and just move your arrow to make sure that you don't have two HTTPs here, and then just hit OK. And there's my picture, and it's upside down for some reason. Oh, we're going to go to Image, and we'll just say Rotate Canvas 180. That shouldn't be the case, but if that was the case for whatever reason, you could rotate it around. And all I want to do here is just kind of edit it, crop it, and resize it. Now, if it has a yellow tint to it, which this one does not, so I'm not going to worry about it, but if it has a yellow tint to it, we can use color balance. But what we're just going to do here is first crop it. So I'm going to use the crop tool, which is this top left one, the crop tool, and I'm just going to crop it and just draw a marquee. I'm drawing like I'm drawing a box, and I'm just going to do like a headshot here. And you could do it as big or small as you want. And I'll just get a little of that, and that looks good. And then when you're done, when you're happy with that crop area, you can just hit your return or enter key, and that'll crop it. Now it's cropped already. And you can see from this image has some highlights, it has dark, so there's not much to do with this image unless I wanted to do midtones or something like that. So I'm okay with this image. And what I'm going to do now is resize it, because we don't want to put a giant image. This image is 1500 pixels by 1700. 1575 by 1750. So that's way too big to put in a discussion forum. So I'm going to go to image size. And in here, where it says 1575, I'll just use the width, and I'm going to make it 150, so we're going to make it a lot smaller. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, it looks tiny right now because it's at 16%. You can use this thing and go over here and highlight and put 100%. And that's pretty much the actual size that it'll be. And that's all that you really need to do. We're going to do another exercise with Pixlr, and I'll go over Pixlr a little bit more, but that's all you really need to do for your picture. And again, Pixlr is an online kind of Photoshop-like application that runs on Flash. Now, once you have this, we're going to save it, and you're going to save this down to your computer, whether it's a computer in the lab or at home. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'll just do File, Save, and I'll just call it Smith S, because that's my name. And then I'll leave it on JPEG, and you don't have to put the extension here. And the quality is on 80. That means it's going to compress it a little bit, about, it'll compress it down about 80% of its original size, and I'll hit OK. And you could save it. I'll just save it on my desktop for now, and I'll just call it smiths.jpg on my desktop, wherever you want to save it. And it's saved. Now what I'm going to do is pull it from my desktop and put it into my Warren in my discussion forum. Now I'm back in here. I'm not sure if I'm logged out or not. I think I'm logged in. And I'm going to go to my courses, and I'll go to CSE 103 S2, and I'll just go into the discussion board. Now you would go into student introductions. Now I can't edit it, make a student introduction, so I'm just going to go into instructor introduction. I'll go into one that I already have, but you're going to go in here, so don't go into mine. I'm going to go into here, and I'm just going to put a picture. So there's my introduction. You would go into your introduction and just click on it, and you should see a link here to edit it, and you could click on edit, and there it is. And I'm just going to put my cursor at the end and hit return, and it should make a space after you hit return. And I'm not going to paste anything. What I'm going to do is use the insert image button and click on that, and then just go find the image again that I had downloaded. So I'm going to click here. And now when you see this, these are things in your Moxie Manager which you really have no need for. So you're going to have to go to upload. And it did go to desktop here, so there's my picture. And I'm going to hit open. And you may not see what's happening here, but just hit insert again down here. And there's my image. If you're not sure, kind of look through there, and eventually you should see that. You should see the name of the file. You don't have to put a description. You could see the sizes here, and that's all you have to do is hit OK, and it should be in there. Now you could even resize it a little bit more if you think, oh, that's still too big. You could make it a little smaller and click off it, and that should be all that you need. When you're done, just hit submit. And now that picture's in there, and you're all done with that exercise. So that's all that you really have to do, just a little quick overview of going into Pixlr to do that. And it involves, again, copying your URL, right-clicking, saying copy image address, going to Pixlr. Now, just one thing I'll just mention real quick, you could close this up, and you don't have to save it, because you don't need it anymore. You already saved your JPEG, so I don't need to save it anywhere else. You already have that other JPEG. But if you didn't see this here for whatever reason, you could always go to, not this up here, but you would go here and go file. You have those same options here, file open image from your computer, or open image URL. You'd get that same thing if you ever needed to copy a URL from somewhere else and edit a photo. So you could get photos from anywhere on the web and paste them in there. So that's basically editing your image in Pixlr and putting it into your discussion post.